Up for some tea. So this was around 2004, and I was still assisting, and I was photo assisting on this photo shoot with Lisa Kudrow and Val Kilmer. It was for a magazine cover. The boss, the photographer, said, "Scott, don't be a wise ass. I've heard that Val Kilmer can be very difficult and very snarky. Don't mess with him." And I said, "Okay, I won't." And what I was told could not have been further from the truth. Val Kilmer was engaged and awesome and funny and nice, and he invited us to go to an art night after that. And Lisa here, she was no nicer than she needed to be. She was neither difficult nor nice. She didn't really interact with anybody except Val. And whatever, all was fine. So now we're like 3 hours into the shoot, and we're sitting down for lunch, all around a big round table. I said, "You know, Val, people said that to be afraid of you. People said that you were difficult." And he goes, "Did they?" And I go, "Yeah, people said that you were, like, scary." And he said, "Scott, you don't strike me as the kind of guy who suffers fools gladly." And I said, "I am definitely not." And he said, "Do you want to know where that reputation came from?" And I said, "No, tell me." And he said, like, when I show up at work, I show up at work. And when I was getting ready to do another Batman, they tried to get me to sign a contract saying that I would never have a drink during the entire production. I don't really like being treated like a child, so I said, "You know what? Get another Batman." And that's where the reputation came from. So cut to 2012. My friends Chelsea and Karen call me and ask me if I want to go to Val Kilmer's one-man show called Citizen Twain, where he does a one-man show of Mark Twain. I'm like, yeah, of course I want to go to that. Val was amazing, as usual. And afterward, there was like a meet and greet. And I'm not the kind of guy that says, "Hey, do you remember me?" So they're like, "Well, you know Val." I'm like, "I don't know Val. I was a photo assistant on one shoot a zillion years ago. I'm not going to do that. You guys go meet him, take your picture with him. I'll be in the corner sipping the cheap white wine." So the girls get through the line, and I'm sitting there drinking my wine, and I hear, hey, Scott, hey, Scott, hey, Scott, in a guy's voice. And I look up, and it's Val Kilmer, and he goes, "What, you're not going to say hello?" And I go, "Hey, you're working, you're meeting people." And he goes, "Come over here." So we start chatting, and he said, "What did we work together on?" And I said it was with Lisa Kudrow for Wonderland. And he goes, "That's right." He goes, "Do you have Lisa's phone number?" I said, "No, how would I have Lisa's phone number?" He goes, "I'd love to get in touch with her." And I said, "Well, you're Val Kilmer. Why don't you have your agent call her agent?" And he goes, "Things don't really work like that." And I said, I don't know, Twitter?" And he goes, "Oh, I think I do have a Twitter." And Val had told me about this ranch that he had in the Pecos in New Mexico. And so we finished up this conversation at the meet and greet. And I said, "Hey, do you still have that ranch?" And he goes, "I sold some of the acres, but I still have some." I said, "Hey, do you have any elk on that property?" And he goes, "Yeah. Give me your number." So I give him my number, and he never called me. So the very next night, I'm in the Crystal Ballroom at the Beverly Hills Hotel at a breast cancer charity. And I think Chelsea Handler was hosting it or was speaking at it. And I'm at table number 1. I got invited as a +1 and right next to me, elbow to elbow, is old Lisa Kudrow. So I go, "Hey, Lisa." And she's like, "What?" And I said, "Hey, so I ran into Val Kilmer last night. I went to his show, and I don't know if you remember, we worked together on a shoot together." And she goes, "No." And I said, "Anyway, he asked me if I knew how to get in touch with you." And she goes, "How would you know how to get in touch with me?" I said, "Well, that's what I told him." And she goes, "Uh-huh." So anyway, sorry to bother you. He just said that he wanted to get in touch with you. So I don't know, maybe figure that out. And she goes, "He wrote me on Twitter last night." So now I really don't like her. So I'm just trying to get out of the conversation. So she says, "So how was the show?" I said, "How was the show?" "The show was amazing." "When has Val Kilmer ever not been amazing?" And she goes, "He's a capable actor." I said, "Did you just call Val Kilmer a capable actor?" And she goes, "Yeah. He's a capable actor." I go, "He's a capable actor like the Beatles were a decent pop group. He's a capable actor like Stradivarius made a half-decent fiddle." And I debated whether to even make this video, because I like to try to generally keep it, uptown, unless someone's really awful, which in this case she kind of was. But it just goes to show you, sometimes the villain is the cool guy, and sometimes the person you don't know about isn't. And I did some research, and it turns out I'm not the only one. Lots and lots of people had a problem with her.